1, 2, 3, funk it.
Hey everybody, it's Lily. I am about to say something really fucking pretentious. I got accepted into the University of Oxford's Visiting Student Study Abroad program. Hooray! Yay! Amazing! Okay, so today I wanted to talk about how you can also get into Oxford University's Visiting Student Travel Abroad program. So I'm gonna get into it. Okay, so some background about me as well is that I am going into my third year at Kenyon College, a small school in Ohio. It's a liberal arts college. I am majoring in, guess what? Surprise, surprise, English. So I'm going to be studying English at Oxford and yeah. Applying to study abroad programs typically happens during your sophomore year, whether it be your spring semester or your fall semester. It depends on what time of the year you want to go. I chose to go during my spring semester of junior year, so I applied during the winter break of my sophomore year. I chose to go during the spring semester of my junior year because I didn't really want to go for the full year of my junior year because I had already missed out on part of my college experience during my freshman year because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So I chose to just go during my spring semester because I thought it'd be a lot easier. And I also wanted to go during the time some of my friends were also going abroad, so maybe I could potentially visit them if I had saved up enough money, which I'm trying to right now. First, I want to get into why I decided to apply to Oxford University and why I chose the college that I chose. I decided to apply to Oxford University because I honestly did not think that I was going to get in, because I kind of thought it was like applying to Harvard and that, you know, like you can only apply to Harvard or Oxford in my case. You can only apply to it once. And because you only have the opportunity once, why not just do it and rip the band-aid off and see if you can actually get in. And if you can get in, cool, you did it. And if you can't, no big deal, there are other schools that you can go to and it really doesn't matter. So I shot my shot and I tried to get into Oxford. I also chose to study at Lady Margaret Hall, which is one of Oxford's several colleges. I applied to Lady Margaret Hall because I did some like really brief research and I looked into the history of Lady Margaret Hall and saw that it was like one of the first Oxford universities that opened that allowed women to get an education, and I was really excited by that idea. And so I had a backup plan to go to University of College Dublin, I think that's what it's called, and I wanted to potentially do that instead of going to Oxford. And so I had like my plan to apply there afterward. Oxford has a minimum GPA of a 3.7 for American colleges. If you do not have a 3.7 or above, then it's unlikely that Oxford will accept you. And honestly, achieving a 3.7 GPA or above is actually kind of hard because it's college, and that means you have to be on average a B+ student. Then the next thing that you need to make sure is your personal finances. I'm in a very fortunate situation in which I can afford to go to Oxford and that I have the financial means to afford the tuition and the lodging. So if you don't have the financial means to go to pay for tuition and lodging or just travel expenses in general, then maybe it's not the best idea to apply, and maybe look at some other colleges that aren't as expensive to go to, which is unfortunate, but there are a bunch of other universities that are also really amazing that are probably cheaper and more affordable. So I would look into a bunch of backup options. So now I actually want to talk about applying to Oxford. I applied through a program called IFSA or IFSA. So I first had to fill out a bunch of stuff through my school's study abroad, like student center, and I had to talk about why I wanted to go abroad to Oxford and how it would benefit my academic career and why I would want to go to England. And I'm not going to get into that because that's kind of separate to actually like the study abroad application process through Oxford. Then you're probably going to want to apply through a study abroad program external to your school. IFSA to me was the easiest, and it's the one that my school advertised for Oxford. In order to actually apply through IFSA, you have to create a student portal with your school email, and then you have to create a password. And then after you do that, then you're going to have an application portal in which it tells you all of the things that you need to apply to Oxford. Looking through the portal, you'll see that there's all this like personal info stuff that you need to fill out, like a medical form, you need like a photo, you need a passport photo, and I'm not going to help you with that because that's your business. I'm actually going to talk about your letters of recommendation, your writing samples, and then your academic plan and your academic statement. So first, I'm going to talk about the letters of recommendation. The letters of recommendation is an aspect of the application that you don't have full control over, but you do have some control over. You have control over who you can ask for letters of recommendation from. In my opinion, definitely try and get one from your academic advisor or try and get one from someone within your discipline. And then your last resort option is to get a letter of recommendation from someone not in the academic discipline. It doesn't really matter. The second thing that I wanted to talk about is setting up your academic study plan. So Oxford has it so that you have to go through and pick out the courses that you potentially want to take at Oxford. You essentially have to fill out 8 classes for your major that you potentially want to take, and then you have to fill out like 4 non-major classes, so like classes that don't have to do with your academic major. I think the reason why they want you to create an academic plan and a kind of like pseudo schedule is because I think they want to see how seriously you want to study there, and they want to see how committed you are to going to Oxford. I just put down classes that I thought I would like, and I just kind of didn't worry too much about that part of the application because I think that as a whole it won't really matter that much, but at the same time, like, you don't want to just forget about that part of the application and you want to make sure you get it done thoroughly. The next thing that Oxford is looking for visiting students to include in their application is 2 writing samples. So for me as an English major, finding writing samples is really not that hard because I write all the time. I write and read and analyze all the time. So finding writing samples was very easy and they were very abundant. So Oxford likes to see what grade you got on the paper that you're submitting. I only had 1 grade that I could submit. Another one was a paper that did not have a grade because my teacher did not grade it, and so I did not have a grade, unfortunately. The grade that I got on that one paper was an A-, and then I thought that the other paper that I got was like an A paper. So I turned in both of those. My recommendation for the writing samples is that it should be writing samples within your major or maybe even a minor. And what I mean by strong piece of writing is that it should exemplify your best analytical work, and then it should have immaculate grammar or as close to perfect as it could be, and it should have good, concise, elegant prose. You should definitely read through and scan through your writing and see if it's of quality to submit, that it represents your writing accurately, and if there are mistakes, then don't submit it because that's, in my opinion, academic dishonesty. So don't change your essays, just find another essay that's basically just as good with little to no mistakes. I'm not going to show my writing samples because I am terrified of plagiarism on the internet and people plagiarizing my essays and stuff like that. I submitted 1 essay about Eurydice and then I submitted 1 essay about Beloved. The last thing that I wanted to talk about that I think is the most important part of the application is the academic statement. The academic statement is where you really get to show them why you want to study at Oxford and why you are passionate about the subject that you love. I took this opportunity to really articulate why I love English literature. How I structured my academic essay is I tried to hook them in first of all. And how I tried to hook them in was that I tried to get them to see why I was excited about English literature and why I think it's really important. Then after that, after my hook, I said I was specifically interested in post-colonial literature because of the important ways colonialism has affected literature from around the world, from post-colonial and colonial societies and nations. And I talked about, why it's important to study those works. And then once you talk about kind of like the specifics, then you can kind of get into how Oxford will help you achieve that goal. How I accomplished this was I talked about the classes that I listed within my academic plan, and I talked about specifically why certain classes would help me accomplish this goal and how I would grow as a learner and reader and writer through Oxford. Talk about some of the classes that you selected. Obviously, I selected them kind of randomly, but at the same time, there was some intention with what I selected. And so after I kind of took like a paragraph to explain that, then I kind of like looked at the broader picture of Oxford as an environment, an academic institution, and then I kind of ended it saying Oxford will be like the perfect fit for me because I'm excited about the inspiring environment and the kinds of people that I'll meet and stuff like that. Oxford not only wants to know why it's a perfect fit for you, but also why you're a perfect fit for Oxford. And so your essay should help demonstrate those two important things. My editing process was basically me like meticulously looking through for mistakes and trying to make my language more concise. And I had my peers help me edit it down. So like family members and then also classmates. Definitely have people help you with it. Set aside your ego, your pride, and just have people look at it and have them help you. All right, so I hope everything that I said was really helpful and that I hope you can also apply to Oxford. So thanks for watching and have a good rest of the day or rest of the night, wherever you are. Okay, bye-bye.